go. Let's check this out. Oh, famous Nate.
So the subject is, with this particular mark, you can't buy or sell. Can somebody tell me what a radio frequency chip has to do with that? A radio frequency identification is meant as what? A GPS. To find location. Where's my dog? A sister wrote me and said, my dog has an RFID chip. I said, well, maybe he can go buy some land for you.
Now I'm gonna ask a question. Give me a second. He just made a statement you can't buy with an RFID chip. Give me a second, y'all. Can you make a payment with an RFID chip? It's already there. Yes, you absolutely can make payments with an RFID chip embedded in cards, phones, watches, or other devices, and in your hand too. Look at this. Look at this. You're getting scanned on the hand. Ultimately, it's going to be in your hand. So let me read again. Yes, the question is, can you make a payment with an RFID chip? Yes, you absolutely can make payments with an RFID chip embedded in cards, phones, watches, or other devices, including your hand or forehead, which is known as biometric. Bio meaning life, your living being, metric meaning measure. Biometric means, among other things, you're going to have a device put inside you, and it's going to link up with the web, the World Wide Web, the cloud and all that. So you're going to be registered. You're going to be registered. You're going to have all your information in that chip. So yes, you absolutely can make payments with an RFID chip. And like I said, I believe this was, give me a second. So if you can't get it on this thing, then you're not one of the elect. It's just that simple. Okay, let's hear it again, because so you don't say, well, you putting words in the bishop's mouth. You putting words. The bishop never said that. Well, here I got the receipt.
A radio frequency is meant as what? Is with this particular mark, you can't buy or sell. Can somebody tell me what a radio frequency chip has to do with that? A radio frequency identification is meant as what? A GPS. To find location. Where's my dog? A sister wrote me and said, my dog has an RFID chip. I said, well, maybe he can go buy some land for you.
Let's listen to that again.
You can't buy or sell.
Let's listen to it again.
So the subject is, with this particular mark, you can't buy or sell. Can somebody tell me what a radio frequency chip has to do with that? A radio frequency identification is meant as what? A GPS. To find location. Where's my dog? A sister wrote me and said, my dog has an RFID chip. I said, well, maybe he can go buy some land for you.
So, I played it 3 times, 4 times? And he said it. He said you can't buy and sell with an RFID GPS device. Global Positioning System, RFID, Radio Frequency ID. This is what he just said. And by thy words thou shalt be condemned. Okay? So anyway, let's come on back over here. I know I'm going a little... Okay, let's go back to this guy. So if you watch this video and you can't... I don't see it. Well, that's fine and dandy. You don't see it. There's a reason. There's a reason why you stuck in there so long. That's an inside joke. There's a reason why you can't see it because you're not one of the elect. Yeah, but I'm a Hebrew Israelite, brother. I accept, Jesus in the name of Jesus and all that. I said, yeah, okay, you were called, but you were not chosen. You're not one of the elect. We'll see you in the kingdom. So let's go.
I'm confused about what it is because it'll be
I'm at Whole Foods and I'm about to pay for my groceries with my...
They say we living in the future. But this is the future. I don't want to be a part of it. That's why.
That's the coolest thing ever. I'm at Whole Foods and I'm about to pay for my groceries with my...
They say we living in the future. But this is the future. I don't want to be a part of it. That's why.
That's the coolest thing ever. I'm at Whole Foods and I'm about to pay for my groceries with my...
They say we living in the future. But this is the future. I don't want to be a part of it.
What if you could pay for your shopping with just a wave of your hand? This RFID chip works just like a contactless card. It's implanted into your hand, and once it's there, you can pay for groceries, open doors, and even unlock your car. What if you could pay for your shopping with just a wave of your hand? This RFID chip works just like a contact...
Alright, Shalom. Shalom. This is your brother Issachar coming back at you with another lesson. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, all honor and glory to Yahweh, Baal Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Baal Hashem, B'Kavash. Double honor to the apostles and elders, a great millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect and the 144,000 scattered across the four corners of the earth. Shalom to you. Alright, today's lesson, we're going to go into further detail on the RFID microchip, that's going to be made mandatory real soon. Okay, because it's prophecy. Yahweh B'Ashem Yahushai, gave John the Revelator that vision, 2,000 years ago. You see, so it's a very, very heavy prophecy that is coming down the pike. And you got these false prophets, which I showed you guys in this clip, from Apostle Tahar, showing that, Nate saying that you can't make purchases with the chip, and just talking all this madness on starting with the apostles and teachers of GMS, saying that that the chip is that the M.O.T.B is not the chip, and so now remember, we're in the proving grounds where yeah, you may have Nate from IOIC, Captain Tazariak, that clown, all right, the Lord's making it manifest, okay, who he's with, and who's telling the truth and who's not telling the truth, because the Lord's making all these prophecies come down the pipe. You see, so that's why with these false prophets, Nate, Captain Zaryak, these wacky-tacky Christians, you bugged out Catholics, all right, when they put up, videos, talking crap about the men of the Lord, starting with the apostles of GMS, elders on down, all right, that's just, remember, that's just people talking, all right, although they call us, all the names underneath the sun, it don't matter, because it's not going to change the fact that that chip is the M.O.T.B. I mean, it don't matter who it is, okay? It don't matter who it is on this planet, from a homeless man talking crap to the Rothschilds talking crap. All right, no one's gonna change the fact that the RFID microchip is the M.O.T.B. Remember, when scoffers, especially false prophets, okay, when they hate on the truth and all that, that's just them talking, them being foolish. But that don't mean that just because they don't like something, or just because they don't believe it, doesn't mean that it's not going to come down the path. Just like in the time of Noah, all right, people didn't believe that it was going to rain. Yeah, but did it happen or did it not? Remember that, okay? The rain came and it took them all away. So same thing, the chip is the mark of the beast, and also, Yahushua is gonna be here in the middle of World War III. This is why the world is recording and witnessing the so-called UFOs all around the world, because people have, recording devices on their phone, so people, they don't have to run inside their house to get a big old camera. Everybody can record stuff from their phone, and upload it, on the World Wide Web. You see, so the world is witnessing the Lord's ships, okay, the so-called UFOs, the so-called UAPs. Okay, so those ships, remember, are going to, when Yahushua gets here, those ships are going to shoot laser beams on the wicked, and they're going to beam up the elect. You see? And so it don't matter, like Nate, they talk crap and call us the bum camp, and it don't matter. Okay, but woe unto them, because what they're doing is they're talking about the Lord's word. You see? So look at these guys, you see how Apostle Tahar, he put up that beautiful video, he had, right there, because see the people in Nate's congregation, all right, they get mad and say, oh yeah, keep the bishops, talking about Nate, they say, oh, keep the bishop's name out of your mouth, and oh yeah, the bishop never said that. There's the receipts to show you that, all you other Israelite groups out there are full of crap. You see? A lot of you guys are changing your doctrine, because you're running out of excuses. You're running out of lies, because when people tell a lie, they gotta tell another lie to try to back it up, You see? So remember, the truth is the truth. Revelation chapter 13, verse 15 down to the 18th verse. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Right. So the image is the new world order. Okay, and this is what you see now, going on with the ICE agents. That's just the beginning, because you got way more worse mercenaries out there from the UN. These elites are going to release, because they have new world order. Like the ICE agents right there, what you see happening right there between them and people. Remember how that woman, that Edomite, the so-called white woman, got shot in the face the other day? All right, that's the least of your problems. Okay, those ICE agents, yeah, they're kind of roughing people up, but that's nothing compared to what the elites have. Remember, the elites have an army of angels. To you, people in the world that think that, oh, hey, ICE agents is so terrible and all that, you have no idea. Okay, the Lord is hasn't even got warmed up yet. All right, yeah, the ICE agents, see how they're, people are saying, hey, run inside your house and all that. What is that gonna do? Okay, those of you that are not covered by the Lord, you're about to get mowed down out here. Remember, okay, the so-called white man is the sword of the Lord on the left-hand side. So it's called judgment. So go ahead and run inside your house. The Lord is going to make sure, if you're not covered by the Lord, you will be slaughtered out here. Okay? So right here, that, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. All right, so whoever's not down with the New World Order and whoever's not going to take that chip is going to be mowed down. Because remember, the Lord is going to unleash the left-hand side for a little while. You got to remember that. All right, but the right hand, but those who are part of the hopeful elect, you're going to be covered by that. You're going to be protected in that time. You see? But see, like these videos going up, people saying, "Oh yeah, run in their house, they're coming." It's just the beginning, because the ICE agents are low level. Yeah, they're roughing with the people and all that, but they're low level compared to what these elites have. All right, because they have super soldiers out there. An army of robots. You see androids. Robot dogs. So go ahead and run inside your house. But these forces are gonna go in there and drag you out. They're gonna drag you out. What do you think is going inside your house and what? Oh, so that's safe, They'll they'll you want to run inside your house? Shit, they'll blow your whole house up. Okay, you gotta remember these the left hand side has top technology where they can see through walls and all that. You see, but that just shows you the simplicity of our people. Because they, what is that gonna do? Run inside your house, okay, and do what? You see, you gotta remember out there that this is not a game. So those of you who are not repenting to Yahweh Shem Shai, remember there's no escape. Okay, because remember it's the Lord. Okay, the sword of the Lord is the Edomites, the so-called white man, is the sword of the Lord, but the Lord is the one controlling them. All right, it's because it's time of judgment. You see, verse 17. Well, verse 16. And calls it all. Okay, and he calls it all. So who's that he right there? The elites. Okay, these top international bankers. The dark shadow government that's ruling this world. You see behind the scenes. And he right there calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor. So it don't matter if you're a millionaire. Okay, if if you're homeless. See that's why they have those concentration camps. Remember in Utah, all right, saying that it's illegal to be homeless. See that because there's no way out. Okay, because you can't say, well, you know what, I'm not going to take the chip. Well, if you're not covered, of course. Okay, the elect are going to be covered. They're going to be hid in this time. Remember that. But if you're not, remember, there's no way out because it's not just the elites bringing in the New World Order. is judgment from Yahweh Hashem Shai. So you can't just say, "Oh, I'm gonna run the house." Shit, they'll send in a robot dog, okay, and drag your ass out, or they'll blow your whole house up with a missile or with a laser, So go ahead and run inside your house. It's you 2/3 that you guys think that you can run from judgment, because a lot of you guys are just playing games, and then when ICE comes and you guys are getting all scared, crying. You see, but the Lord told you through His prophets that these times were coming. You see, and what did the majority of you Israelites do out there? The so-called blacks, Latino, Native Americans do. Okay, you guys scoff and talk crap on the prophets. See, so now it's your behind. You see, go ahead and call on Jesus Christ. And that's to all you Israelites out there, who are not calling on Yahweh Shem Shai. All right, where's Jesus Christ at? Okay, when all these ICE agents are going around, you telling the people, "Oh, run inside your house, they're coming." Where's Jesus at? You damn clowns! Yo, we're gonna see. Where's all your guys' gods at? Where's Fat Buddha at? See, where's Allah at? See, the whole world is seeing our power, Yahweh Shem Shai. Okay, the so-called UFOs, the so-called UAPs, all right, the chairs of Israel, videos are going up every day of people witnessing those ships. You see? All right, so that's something to that's something to see the difference. You 2/3 are right now running all scared. Okay, hey, the Lord told you to repent. You see, and He calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, because you can't say in this time that we're entering, "Oh yeah, I don't want to take the chip, I'm just going to do my own thing." Because remember, these elites are going to have, drones out there with infrared, all right, androids. So, you ain't just going to be able to just, not, go off the grid. You see? Free and bond. Also, even if you're in jail, okay, these the New World Order is going to cause people to take that chip, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. Right, the RFID microchip, which is the M.O.T.B. Verse 17, right here. Okay, and that no man might buy or sell, say he that had the mark, the RFID microchip. So why can't you buy or sell? Because it's also the RFID microchip is also going to be the new digital currency. Okay, because the FRNs, the Federal Reserve Note, okay, is going to crash. Okay, all the way. All right, it's not, it's not like, okay, America's going to go in a little recession, but we'll bounce back. Okay, like they say. All right, no. Okay, the American dollar bill is going to completely crash. All right, and the new digital currency is going to be the RFID microchip. You see, it's right. It's written right here, and that no man might buy or sell. So it doesn't, Nate. It doesn't just, the RFID microchip doesn't just serve as a GPS. Okay, it serves as your keys, your wallet. All right, you see, and that's how. After that video, I showed you 2 short clips of individuals purchasing, things with their with their hand, because they had the chip inside their hand. You see, So remember, the Lord is not mocked. Just because the truth is the truth, just because our enemies talk crap and all that, doesn't mean that this is not going to happen. Remember, the spaceships are still there. Just because people don't believe, it don't matter. You got to remember, the Lord has His whole planet surrounded by the angels. You got to remember that. So no one's going anywhere. Remember, the Lord's going to allow the wicked, the top elite, to do their thing, to have one last hoorah. Okay, because remember, the elites, They have the stage for a little while, all right, to totally cause, ruckus on the world. All right, but it's judgment. And then the Lord, Yahweh Shai, is going to come with the angels and say, all right, that's enough. And they're going into slavery. You see? So those of you who don't believe it, although you talk crap, say, oh, yeah, right. It don't matter. Okay? Remember, the ships are still right there. Like in like NASA, when they record those big old ships on a live, when they're streaming, just because they cut the live feed, that don't mean that the spaceship's still there. Okay, the chariots of Israel are all around us 24/7. Just because you can't see them, remember the angels are out here 24/7, whether you believe or not. See, this is why the Lord has His elect, calm and collective. You see, because the Lord protects His elect. See, it don't matter who tries to step up. You gotta remember that. You see, see, he that had the mark. All right, that's the RFID microchip, or the name of the beast. Whoever's down with the New World Order, or the number of his name. Verse 18. Here is wisdom, because it's wise. Okay, to take heed of these words. Look at the 2/3. Okay, look at the 2/3. What is ICE doing with them? Okay, throwing them off airplanes. Where's Jesus Christ at? Okay, where's the Virgen, the Guadalupe? Where's Mary at? See, you niggas are getting tossed off planes. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you just like that. Because if you reject the Lord, all right, then you truly are a nigga at this point. Because the Lord came and laid His life down for us. And you want to run with the so-called white man? Go for it. Look what's happening now. See, our people are getting thrown off airplanes. Huh? And that's good for you. That's good for you. That's good for you. And there's a lot more. And there's a lot more coming for you too. You see? Because you guys mock the Lord. You guys mock the messengers. Same thing what happened to Noah. Okay, when he was mocked. All right, what happened? All right, that flood came and took them all away. So this is why you have to truly understand what's gonna happen here. You gotta truly understand the times that we're in, because remember, just because these people don't believe in stuff, it's not gonna change reality. All right, you even have Americans who are gonna fight against America. And they're even so-called white people, the Edomites. They're even telling the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, stay out of it. It's not your fight. See? Because you even got Americans who want to tear up the leaders of America. Because they even see like, oh yeah, these dudes are like pedophiles or true Satanists. Yeah. Okay, that's why they're the wicked. We're not out here just like, oh, the so-called white man is evil. Like, no, they are the wicked. Okay, this is why David said, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked. Because Illuminati, skull and bones, whatever, they're very real. They're very real. This is why all this stuff's coming out about, TD Jakes and P. Diddy, how they had, like skull, they found like bones and stuff, because they truly worship Satan, the celebrities and all that is very real. It's not it's a conspiracy fact, baby. This is something that you got to understand. And the elites, that's what they do. Okay, it's human sacrifice. You see, on the left hand side, here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding, because you got to understand, baby. Okay, it's not just, yeah, I read the Bible, yeah. Well, okay, we'll see. Okay, because if you understand it, then you're going to put your trust in the Lord. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 600, 3 score and 6, because it's 666, because these elites worship Satan. Remember that. Remember, Trump is full Satanist. Okay, 100%. All right, all these presidents and leaders around the world. Okay, they all bow down to Satan in bafflement. 100%. You know, it's right there. You see, remember, the Lord does not lie. You see, and the Lord's not going to, you know, send out his prophets to lie. His true prophets that are, okay, not you false prophets that are under a 501c3 charter, okay, who are getting paid to withhold information from people, who are getting paid to tell people lies, you know. But now the Lord's making you guys look like idiots out there, all right? Because remember, you can scoff at the prophets all you want, but remember, the Lord shined the light on you. So, you know, you have a lot of blood on your hands, Nate. You know, General Yohana. Okay, you guys have a lot of you guys got a lot of blood on your hands. You see, because you're telling the Israelites that it's not the chip. You see, so in the day of judgment, remember, the Lord's gonna come see you. Okay, when the Lord comes and sees his prophets, he's gonna reward them with salvation. All right, food and substance, water, protection. See, but when the Lord comes and visits you, remember, you can say whatever you want to the, you know, you say whatever you want, whatever is pleasing to you false prophets. But remember, when the Lord visits you, that's it, you know, and you know, you're already being shown to, because everything that you're saying, all right, you know, you're saying, you know, even your congregation is saying that, because they're lying just like you. Okay, they're saying that, oh, the Bishop Nate never said that. Pastor Har brought it out right there. Now what do you got to say? You see? But it's not really like a big thing like, oh, told you so, in your face. It's just, remember, Akim Aqua, this is a very serious situation. It's life and death. See, so yeah, we'll say, okay, yeah, you know, Nate's being a dummy or whatever, but we're not going to be all like, oh yeah, you know, all carnal, like, oh yeah, when we see him, it's on. And nah, not at all, because you're messing with fire, you see? All right. So remember, because in the day of judgment, to all of those of you that don't believe, all of you that scoff, remember, you're the one who's going to die. See that? So remember, this is why, yeah, we make edification, you know, to show our people what's right from wrong. You know, this is what you do, this is what you don't do. But we're not going to get all, you know, bent out of shape and, you know, all angry and, nah, because you're messing, you're playing around with the Lord's word, you see, and by you not believing, talking crap on the Lord's men, it's not going to change anything. You see? Revelation chapter 3 verse 10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, this is why you have to know the 100% truth. See, like in IUIC, all right, yeah, you know that you're an Israelite. Okay, they teach that the Lord looks like a so-called black man, which is correct. But they're not teaching that the RFID microchip is the M.O.T.B. So it's no bueno, because you might say, oh, well, we know 80%. That's not good enough. You need 100% truth. Okay? Because this is life and death. All right? Because thou hast kept the word of my patience. This is why you can't just say, well, I feel that these guys are right. Remember, you got to go according to what the Lord says. It's the Lord's word. Okay, this is why, if by those of you who are going by your opinions, you're not going to make it. This is why Proverbs chapter 3 verse 5 says, lean not into their own understanding. So don't just try to figure it out like, well, I think that this is this way. Forget the prophets. Well, that's fine. Okay? But, those who don't believe, you're condemned already. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience. So you got to be patient, meaning to suffer. Okay? Because you got to be willing to lose. You gotta be willing to lose it all. I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation. Because the Lord is going to keep the elect. See? Temptation means trial because it's all a test. Okay, because are you ready to lose it all for the Lord? Okay, are you willing to make your body a living sacrifice? You know, just because a so-called white man threatens you or whatever, what are you going to do? Are you going to fold like a lawn chair like Nick Cannon? Or are you going to hold it down? Which shall come upon all the world. Because it's judgment, baby. It's the whole world. All right? To try them that dwell upon the earth. Right. Because it's a test. This is the last test. See? And those of you Israelites out there who don't got the truth, you know, those of you Israelites out there who don't have the truth are going to be in a very painful situation. Okay? Because there's nothing but, you know, wars and starvation coming to a city near you. You see? So with that, that's it on today's lesson on the M.O.T.B. You know, on your feet, soldier. Stay prayed up. Stay circumspect out there. Shalom.